viewers at home. This is Family Life on NewDawn TV. On this episode of Family Life today, we'll be having an interview in commemoration of the celebration of the International Women's Day. Meet my guests. Ma, kindly introduce yourself.
Yes, please. My name is Hajara S. Gora, and I'm from the northwest of Nigeria, and I'm a Fulani person. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming on the show. Ma'am, we celebrated the International Women's Day just a week back, and this interview is meant to encourage African women to let us know that we still have hope. Now, we know as African women we are faced with several challenges, and we are at a disadvantaged point. Can you help us highlight some of these challenges we have as African women?
Thank you very much. Generally, African women, majority of African women stay in the rural sector, and majority of them have problems with access to education, access to finances, access to agricultural inputs that they can use on their farm, access to healthcare, and access to safe drinking water. Those are major issues for the African woman. Access to education, very few women, maybe out of 100, we can say that maybe, I'm not sure, but maybe 40% of African women can have access to education, but can they afford it to pay the school fees? This is very important. It's a challenge. And then access to agricultural inputs, what they can use on their farm that can increase their input and can increase their farm products. And then access to healthcare for their children, for themselves and the entire family, especially during childbirth. And then access to safe drinking water to avoid having waterborne diseases. Those are major problems we have in and access to land acquisition.
Okay.
They actually do not have land, and in some places they don't inherit. Those are major issues we have.
Okay. Having been able to highlight the challenges we face as women in Africa, can you give us some solutions we can prefer to tackling them?
Yes, if we all work together, the government look into issues that I had mentioned, and look into issues of safe drinking water, issues of universal basic education for everybody, especially the girl child, and then adult education, informal education for the women, either religious or non-religious, is very important. It is good to look into healthcare issues, looking at maternal mortality, how women are suffering in giving birth, and then looking at the children mortality, looking at that, improving healthcare issues, and then access to finances, where women can have access either in kind or in cash, where they can now have access to such either loans or grants, where they can improve their lot and then pay back, and improve their lot and then pay back. This is very important. Women, the government also, together with civil society, can look into issues of inheritance, which is of valid importance to women, so that if a woman can inherit at least a little piece of land, she'll have something to say her own, and it can really further her own income, further her own assets, so that a woman can have assets to herself, and then know that it's her own and she can use it to improve her lot.
Yeah, thank you very much, ma'am. Now, going by these solutions you prefer, do you think African women have a stake or a role to play in developing the African continent?
Yes, African women have a lot to play in developing the African continent. For a long time, African women, they have been the ones developing the continent. They have been the one holding the family together. They have been the one sending the children together. They have been the one feeding the family, some of them feeding the family, helping the husband. They are helpers. So they are there. They are the ones in the forefront. When a child is sick, it's the African woman that looks after that child, that runs around. When the husband is sick, it's still the same African woman. So they have been in the forefront for looking for safe drinking water, sending the children to school, going to farm, raising the income of the family, feeding the family, cooking, and doing a lot of things. In the forefront is the African woman that has been there for the betterment of Africa. And what we need to do, if the government can look into it and look into the work that the woman does, and then quantify it into cash and see what can be done to really improve what the woman does, so that this continent will be lifted out of poverty and out of a lot of issues, including accountability and transparency.
Okay, so you're saying now that as African women, we have a hope of creating development in the African continent.
Yes, we hold the hope in our hands. When we're honest and we have integrity and we obey the rules, you know,
Yes, ma'am.
then we can convince our children to obey the rule. Then we raise a better generation. When we refuse to accept, when you come back home with a fancy car and your job does not earn that, then we should ask our children, where did you get the money?
Really?
How did you do it?
Yeah.
I think when we start to do that, then there will be less corruption, there will be less wastage of resources of government, and there will be more improved service delivery for the African people, especially at the rural areas.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Now, in conclusion, what are the words of encouragement you have for the African woman, especially in this season of the COVID-19 global pandemic?
In the season of COVID-19, what I can tell each woman in Africa and in the world is to obey the rule. We put face masks, we keep these social distances, we wash our hands often, and we avoid crowded areas. We just need to obey the rule. And when we obey the rule, and then we help the government to really reduce this disease, you know, we help ourselves to be free of it, our children, our families will stay safe, then we are helping the whole world, not just African nation. And then we trust in God to save us, but we have to keep the rule and trust God. And in such cases, we have hope.
Thank you very much, ma. Thank you for coming on the show. African women, you have it there. We are the hope of the African continent. Keep your hope alive. Viewers at home, thank you for watching till the end. Join us on another episode of Family Life on NewDawn TV.